Welcome back to What's the Verdict, a show where I give you my verdict MMA picks for the upcoming UFC card. This weekend we have UFC 316, Merab Dvalishvili versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. Every single fight on this main card has potential to be a banger, and I think this card is going to deliver as such. When you have Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque opening up your main card, you know it's a pretty solid night. Speaking of that fight, I had to go back and look at the records to make sure that this fight hadn't happened already. This is a stylistic matchup that I think is going to lead to an absolutely exciting fight, and I'm surprised that this hasn't happened already. Both men are obviously very solid on the feet, with Kevin Holland being a lot rangier, I guess that's a word, being a lot more rangy on the feet. He's way longer and probably has a more disciplined striking game. But I will say that I think Vicente Luque will be the stronger and more well-rounded athlete that night. Kevin's jiu-jitsu is absolutely amazing, and he's made that abundantly clear throughout his time in the UFC. And Vicente Luque has also proven himself a ton in the jiu-jitsu department. I mean, his last fight against Temba Garimbo was a vicious submission win. Vicious. But Kevin Holland also has some really nice submission wins on his record and some really solid knockout wins on his record as well. I think this fight is going to be really back and forth while it lasts, but I do think it's going to get finished inside the distance. I think Kevin Holland is going to come in more aggressive and look to get the fight to the ground early. I think that Luque is a little bit more powerful, and I don't think Kevin Holland wants to spend too much time with him on the feet. I think that this will lead to success, and my verdict MMA pick is Kevin Holland via submission in round 2. Luque obviously has a real chance here. This is a really tough fight for both men, but I think that Kevin Holland gets it done. Moving on, we have the UFC debut of one of the best bantamweights to walk the planet, Patchy Mix. This dude is an absolute monster, but he's being put in front of a real test in Mario Bautista. Although Mario Bautista is a UFC veteran at this point, I don't think he has much for Patchy Mix. Patchy has been deemed one of the best fighters outside the UFC for a long time now, and Mario Bautista, I just think, is still outside of his athletic prime and still has a lot of growing to do in mixed martial arts. I think he's going to put up a fight, but I do think that Patchy Mix is going to get the job done. My verdict MMA pick is Patchy Mix by knockout in the first round. Next up, we have the hometown hero Joe Bodybags Pyfer against a veteran opponent in Kelvin Gastelum. This fight was originally supposed to take place in Mexico City, but Pyfer got sick and had to pull out, so they moved it to UFC 316 in Newark, New Jersey, which is pretty close to Pyfer's home in Philadelphia. This is a really intriguing matchup, but I really only see this fight going two ways. I think that Kelvin Gastelum is going to be able to edge out a gritty decision win, or Joe Pyfer is going to be able to get the job done at some point in the early rounds. Kelvin is durable, and that has only been proven throughout his entire UFC run. The dude knows how to take a hit and keep coming forward. And the only time we've seen Joe Pyfer lose was a unanimous decision loss against Jack Hermanson. Now, with that being said, I do think that Joe Pyfer is going to be able to get the job done, and I think the victory is going to be pretty easy for him. My verdict MMA pick is Joe Pyfer by knockout in the first round. At UFC 316, we have two title fights topping the bill. We have Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison and Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. The first title fight of the night is for the Women's Bantamweight Championship. Juliana Pena is looking to defend her strap against the up-and-coming killer in Kayla Harrison. This fight is definitely going to be a scrap, and these two have been clawing at each other for months before this fight has even been scheduled. Juliana Pena is going to come at Kayla Harrison like a bat out of hell. I mean, if her trash talk before the fight is any inkling as to how she's going to approach the fight, that's exactly what's going to happen. The same can be said for Kayla Harrison as well. She's also been talking trash pretty good, and historically comes out pretty aggressive at the beginning of her fights. Kayla is 100% going to be the stronger athlete that night, but I do think that Juliana Pena is going to be more technical inside the cage. Kayla Harrison does have a dominant ground game, but Juliana Pena has seen just about everything inside the UFC octagon. This is going to be a really tough fight for both women, and I think Kayla Harrison thinks she's going to run through Juliana Pena, but I don't think that's going to be the case at all. Even if Kayla can get the job done, I think it's going to be a really tough one for her. Juliana Pena definitely has the edge in the striking department. Although she lacks in the strength department, she probably will be able to hit harder. Kayla Harrison's ground game is dominant, and that's exactly where Juliana Pena needs to stay away from. She should not be sitting on the ground with Kayla Harrison. Pena has a real chance to get this fight done, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. My verdict MMA pick is Juliana Pena by unanimous decision. Now, the kind of anticipated rematch of Merab Dvalishvili versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. In the first fight, Merab just kind of dominated Sean for the entire fight. A lot of people say that Sean won a few of those rounds, but I don't feel that way, and I feel like most people don't feel that way. Sean definitely had some moments in that fight, but not many at all. This fight is really going to come down to who made the most changes between their last fight. Merab was able to fight in between then. He had a dominant victory over Umar, but Sean hasn't fought once, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. That could mean Sean has just been focusing on training, healing up, and getting better, or Merab, on the other hand, has way more experience now, another 25 minutes in the cage, and has a lot more to go off of after that first fight with Sean. I just really hope that Sean made real advances in his ground game. Not to say that he was lacking in the first fight, like he didn't get smothered for the entire 25 minutes, but it wasn't a close fight. And Merab looked really solid on the feet against Umar. He even cracked him one time, which was, shocking for Merab. Merab knows exactly what he has to look out for, and Sean knows exactly what he has to look out for. It's just gonna depend on who's the smarter fighter in the cage on the night. Sean seems to thrive under pressure, and this is gonna be the most pressure he's ever faced in his entire UFC run. I do believe Sean made the necessary changes to put himself in a better position going into this fight. He's looking sharper than ever, and I think he's going to be able to get the win in this one. My verdict MMA pick is Sugar Sean O'Malley by unanimous decision. The two title fights topping this card are really difficult to predict because they could honestly go either way. Kayla Harrison and Juliana Pena both have an equal shot at walking away with the gold. And the same thing goes for Merab Dvalishvili and Sean O'Malley. That's how you know this is a really solid card, because most of the matchups on this one could go either way, and most of them have really solid potential to be awesome fights. If you've stuck around this long in the video, let me know your predictions for this card in the comments below, and if you're watching after the fact, let me know your favorite moments from the card. This has been What's the Verdict from Daily Tapouts FC. Thanks for watching, guys.